I can say that life coaching is just like a compass, like a GPS system in your car. You want to go somewhere, but you don't know the direction,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you need a Google map where you can go, what is the right turns, which path to take. So life coaching is something like that, where somebody can like literally handhold you and guide you to your goals. Driving, you have to do. The coach is not going to do anything for you. The coach is only going to give you the correct path. So, life coaching is all about the GPS system of life. If I can restart my career after 16 years with zero experience,
Mm-hmm.
uh, I can reach here in like 4 years' time, then why not them?
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
women just they just lose hope. They say that कि नहीं अभी इतना time हो गया, so we cannot start again. But you can always start.
So, hello everyone, and welcome back to one more awesome episode of the Achievers Club podcast show. And in this particular episode, we have this beautiful guest called as Sushri Patnaik. She is a life coach, she is also a motivational speaker, and now she's empowering women in order to transform their whole life rather than just being homemaker or doing a job to how they can become the best version of themselves, how they can take their self-care, how they can be more disciplined, and not just that, how they can become blossom from Flawed. That's what we have discussed in this particular episode. And she's also discussing about her own journey into this particular podcast, with which you will definitely get inspired. And this particular podcast is not just for women, this is also for men who are looking forward to do self love, do self care, and they also want to learn about how we can become disciplined in life. And not just that, but in this particular podcast itself, we have also discussed a lot of practices, a lot of activities which you can implement into your own life so that you can take the next step into your life so that you can achieve the best possible outcome for yourself. You can dream big and achieve big, but the most important point is that you should take your first step. You should understand that what are the activities or practices which you need to implement, because knowing but not doing is the end of knowing. But there is also one fact that even if you are going fast forward with speed, but if the direction is wrong, that speed is waste. So in this particular podcast, you are definitely going to get the overall direction on what it takes for you to excel into your own life and how you can dream big, achieve big, and not just that, but how you can become blossom. And let's begin with this particular podcast. But before that, please do make sure that you are liking this particular video and subscribing to our YouTube channel. And please do make sure that you are taking full notes. And let's begin with this podcast. Sushri ma'am, thank you so much for being on our podcast show of The Achievers Club, and it's an honor for me. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm also doing good. It's an honor for me that you're on our podcast show. And honestly speaking, without your presence on this podcast show, I think the topic which we are going to discuss today, our podcast will be like in Hindi, it's called as Adi Adhuris, because we are going to discuss about life coaching and most importantly about the life as well. And even not just about life coaching, but life coaching specifically for women. So this is going to be very interesting. And for the very new audience, who is Sushri Patnaik? Because this is the question which I do ask to all the members, all the guests, those who are coming on our podcast show, so that audience can understand that what is the overall value which they are going to get for the next few minutes.
Thank you so much, first of all, for inviting me to your podcast. You're doing a wonderful job. I've seen your videos, and it is an honor for me to be here and giving me a place where I can actually express what all things I'm doing to help women and through my coaching programs and all. And coming back to your question, who is Sushri Patnaik? Well, if you ask me personally, then I'll start that I'm a super mom. I'm a mom of two boys and two dogs. I
Mm-hmm.
call myself super mom because that is my first identity. And besides that, I'm a fitness enthusiast. I'm into yoga and strength training for the last 20 years. So it is something that I'm very passionate about. And I have a lot of other hobbies also, but this is something I'm really, really passionate about. And professionally, I'm a life coach, but I specifically work with women on women empowerment. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't call myself a coach, I call myself their biggest cheerleader. I tell them that I'm here to just cheer for you and show you the right path so that you can be empowered.
That's great, because even I believe that women are already having that energy inside them. They're already having that enthusiasm, that clarity, that what are the things they want to achieve in their life. But just because of not having that support, not having that people, those who are cheering them, they do suppress their dreams, they do suppress their emotions as well. So thank you so much for being that cheerleader for all the women out there. And we are discussing about life coaching. So can you describe in your own words that what is life coaching all about?
Yeah. So I will not go by the book definition. What is life coaching? I can say that life coaching is just like a compass, like a GPS system in your car. You want to go somewhere, but you don't know the direction,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you need a Google map where you can go, what is the right turns, which path to take. So life coaching is something like that, where somebody can like literally handhold you and guide you to your goals. Driving, you have to do. The coach is not going to do anything for you. The coach is only going to give you the correct path. So, life coaching is all about the GPS system of life.
That's great. And coming back to the point which you mentioned, like you are a cheerleader for women out there. So why you specifically focus for women? Why not men as well?
Yeah, good question. A lot of men ask me that. Why not us?
Yeah.
I say that, to be honest, in our society, men are already privileged. They already have some advantages over women because of the patriarchal rules or the societal norms and all. First of all, that is something. And secondly, it is because of my backstory. Like, if I have the permission, I can just share my
Yeah,
story.
definitely. Go for it. Go for it. Yeah.
So, like when I was studying, like I was always taught that you study and go and find a job, which I did. I find a very good job, but then life happened, marriage happened, and kids happened, and
Mm-hmm.
somehow I was also enjoying my motherhood with my kids and all, but slowly I was also losing my identity. Like I was dependent financially for all my things on my
Mm-hmm.
husband, and I was married in a family which was a little, not little, a lot conservative patriarchal rules, and where women are suppressed, and I was like literally going down in that path. So I had everything, like all the comforts. If on the outside everything was fine, but I was losing my own identity because I was always told that you are easily getting everything that you want. You don't have to work for it, as if like a homemaker job is nothing. Like that's a normal
Mm-hmm.
thing. Like you will hear from women that they are not given the respect. If they're given the respect for the job they're doing at home, they will not go out and seek for job outside.
That's
So
true.
the same thing was happening to me, and it took me 16 years to realize that no, I cannot take it anymore. It was like a golden cage for me. And I was having every comfort in life, but I did not have the respect that I deserve. I did not have the freedom to make my choices because I was not earning my own money. So
Mm-hmm.
after 16 years, I literally left home, like without anything, without any job, without any job experience. I left home with my kids, and I took it as a challenge that I'm not going to take any money from my husband, and I will just build my career again. It was a tough phase for me. A lot of disturbances happened because it
Mm-hmm.
was a drastic step I had taken. But somehow everything settled down, and I started studying again. I started with a small job, and somehow I got a very nice job in a India's edtech company, like leading edtech company at that time. And within a year, I got two promotions. And then one of my mentors suggested me that why don't you go for life coaching? At that time, I also did not know like what is life coaching.
And
So she
what is
said,
that year? What is that year when you were doing
that was
job
in
and
2020.
2020? Okay.
So I was
Mm-hmm.
doing my job, and I was doing well. And my husband also understood that, yeah, like she has the potential, and like I was oppressed because I was not given the opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And with my own earnings, I sponsored my education. I must have spent around 35 lakhs on my education for life coaching, doing
Mm-hmm.
different courses under different mentors. You also know like how expensive these courses are.
Yes.
So everything I did on my own. And then last year I left my job to be fully focused here.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided to work only with women because I understand their struggle. I understand their pain. And I understand that when you don't have a support system or somebody to guide you, like somebody actually guided me to go for this life coaching. This was my calling, but I was never aware about it. And because I was a career counselor at that time, And she was my mentor, and she told me that you are meant for life coaching, not for this. So somebody
Mm-hmm.
saw it in me. And similarly, you don't know your potential. Sometimes somebody else will come and tell you and show you the path. I want to be that person for them. I want to give them a proper path where they can proceed and be empowered. So that is why I chose uh, women specifically. It's
Mm-hmm.
not that I don't coach men.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes men also come for help. So I'm open to all, but
Mm-hmm. That's great.
mainly focused on women for now.
Because even you can resonate with women, and women can also resonate with you. And as you mentioned, like
Yes.
you are their biggest cheerleader. So definitely, it's also like the comfort zone thing. Because
Mm.
because if I tell you honestly, for men, sometimes it's like even men don't share their emotions with you can consider the male itself. But on the
Mm.
other side, females are the women's are the one who are ready to share, but they want that comfort zone, even if they are
Yeah.
men, even if they are women.
And my story can make them believe that if I can restart my career after 16 years with zero experience,
Mm-hmm.
uh, I can reach here in like 4 years' time, then why not them?
Yeah,
So
definitely.
women just they just lose hope. They say that कि नहीं अभी इतना time हो गया, so we cannot start again. But you can always start.
That's great. And talking about life part, because there are different aspects which are involved into life, like health, wealth, then comes relationship, then comes
Hmm.
career. So, what are the different life paths according to you?
Like, see, if you go into a vast definition, then there are 8 areas of life in the wheel of life. We only focus on the health, wealth, and relationship, but besides that, there are other 5 areas also, like your own personal development, your fun and
Mm-hmm.
recreation, your friend circle. So in my coaching, I like go into all the parts, because
Mm-hmm.
only health and wealth and relationship will not give you the fulfillment.
Mm-hmm.
But if you ask me the what will I prioritize, then I always tell women that number one priority for you should be your health.
Okay.
No, like, because I'll tell you the story behind it also. Excuse me. Because I lost my mom to cancer, and I was in a joint family where there were a lot of people, and my mom was one of the most soft spoken and a person whom everybody used to love. She never had a fight with anybody. Like, she was the sweetest person, you can say.
Mm-hmm.
And when she was detected with cancer, like, always we have this thing in your mind. Na? You must have heard also, like, people say कि इतना अच्छा आदमी था उनको क्यों cancer हुआ. But you will always see that all the good people get all the diseases.
That's true.
The one who are like doing all kind of crappy things, they are happy in their life. But you will see that the most generous people, the most kindest people, they get it. Why? Because they don't know how to take care of themselves. They're so busy taking care of others, they forget about themselves. So my mom was a classic example of negligence, you can say. She
Mm-hmm.
was taking care of everybody, but she was not taking care of herself. And that is the mistake I learned from her, that I will never do it. Why? Because when she left a vacuum in her life that cannot be filled. And when I look at my kids, I don't want them to go through it, you know? Like, if I'm not there, I am always scared that if I'm not there, what will happen to them? Because at this age also, if I can miss my mom, I can't talk to her. So what will happen to my family? So if I actually love my family, then I have to first love myself. And that is why health is my number one priority. I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to be a liability for them, because when my mom was going through all those treatments and all, so she was always telling me, I know I have become a liability. And actually, she had become also financially and physically. My dad was going through all of it. We were going through all of it. So I don't want to be a liability for anybody till I am alive. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't want like, I want to be for my family for as long as I can. So your number one priority, women, they tend to neglect their health like anything. They always tell me that we don't have time, I have to take care of my kids, I have to take care of my in-laws, I have to take care of my parents. So one of my friend, I'll tell you a small story about it. One of my friend once told me that I want to exercise but I don't get time. I said, why? Because I have in-laws and I have to take care of them. They're lying on the bed and they need my help. I said, you know what? In the next 20 years, you will be lying on that same bed, and your daughter-in-law or your kids will be telling that, I cannot exercise because my mom is on the bed. So do you want that?
That's true. Like we are
Take,
inspiring them also.
yeah, because you're not taking care of health. So obviously after 15, 20 years, you'll be having all kind of diseases and you'll be lying on the bed and your kids will be saying the same story. So you want to do that to them. If not, then start exercising. आधा घंटा 1 घंटा कुछ भी नहीं होता है. 15 मिनट ही कर लो. At least start.
That's true.
So that should be the first priority. And then for me, second is always relationship. For some, it is career, like wealth, if you say career. But for me, it is always relationship because the quality of your life depends on the quality of your relationships.
That's true.
So no matter how much money you are earning, at the end of the day, if you're coming back home and you're having a fight with your family or you don't have time to sit down with your kids and spend time with them and they suddenly grow up and leave home and then you regret that, oh, I was busy in the office and I could not do that. You will be living with the regret for the rest of your life. So I believe that relationship should come second and career. But for people, like I'm not judgmental about women or men who are like prioritizing their career over a relationship because it all depends. They might be having different needs. But for me, it is always health, relationship, and then wealth.
That's great. And talking about the other five aspects, as you mentioned, there are eight pieces to that particular wheel of life. So, what are those overall eight pieces? Like as you mentioned about health, wealth, relationship, career. So these are the four ones. And fifth is personal development, and sixth comes community, right?
Yeah.
So
And
these are
then
the
there
six
is
which I know.
charity, like what you are giving back to the society.
Mm-hmm.
That is also a very important thing. You
So that's
cannot be
seven.
like totally self-focused and not do anything for the society. So charity is a big part. So that I have also learned from my mentors. You also know that. And
Yes.
religiously we do charity. My kids do, my husband do, everybody. I made everybody into that cycle. Then the fun and recreation part is very, very important. Like how much time you are giving to your hobbies, how many holidays you are taking, how many solo holidays you are taking, how much time you are spending with yourself in a week, like only going and spending out by yourself. People are scared to do that. They cannot go out if they don't have friends or family, even if it's for a small drive. So these are also important part. And then your like friend circle, like only your family is not important. It's very important to have your friend circle also. Like they are also everything you cannot go and share with your family. There are certain things you want to tell your friend only. So
Yes, that's
you
true.
should have a strong support of friends and who are like understanding you and who are happy for you when you're growing in your life. They're not commenting. Like when I remember when I was studying, like a lot of my friends will say क्या पागल हो गई है दिन भर बैठ के पढ़ती रहती है जॉब करती है पढ़ती है जॉब करती है पढ़ती you're not coming out. So they were not happy that I was investing so much time and money on my self development or education. So they were like literally always criticizing about it. So I don't want those kind of friends in my life. I literally cut them off. So if you call them for party, they're always ready. But if you tell them, okay, ये program हो रहा है, चलो कुछ सीखने चलो, नहीं.
They are far away.
They're far away. And they will criticize you that you are crazy, that you're spending these kind of money, you're working hard to earn it, and then you're investing here. And there will be family members also, will be relatives who will tell her she has gone crazy studying so much. So that. And then the other thing is learning. How much are you spending on your learning? People stop learning. These days, nobody reads book. I don't know why. And I ask people like, what was the last book you read? They say, "Barso ho gaye." What book?
Even I was that kind of person. Like, honestly speaking, before starting this podcast series, like almost till 1 month back, I was not reading any kind of book. There was only one book which I read from my mentors. I think that was the book which I read 3 to 4 times. After that, it was like in my productivity tracker also that I have to read book every single day, at least 1 to 2 pages. But I was not able to do. But after that, I don't know what happened, what triggered into it. When I started this podcast series, before that, I think 15 to 20 days or maybe maximum 1 month, I started reading books. And so far, during this podcast itself, I've completed almost 4 books and I'm on 5 to 6 books again. So this is like, these are the books which I want to finish before this year ends also, and they are about to get finished. So I think reading books is also very important along with attending all the events and doing charity also, as you mentioned, doing creativity stuff and solo traveling on all the stuff, because even this is one of the thing which I got from the podcast itself. from other podcasts is that millionaires and billionaires, they read books. Why? Because they believe that every single book is having lots of ideas, and even one single idea can make them millions of dollars. So if they read 100 books, so they can make $100 million through it. So similarly, that is how they go with the flow of reading books, and that is why the people, those who are readers, they are the actual leaders in the world.
True. Actually, that's an honest confession that I have more books than I read actually. But
Mm-hmm.
I always tell that I'll keep collecting them. Because,
Mm-hmm.
when I will retire, I want to have a small one room home in a mountain and I just want to read and read then when I will retire. So at least
Mm-hmm.
I'm building up my library. I buy more books every month. Like that is a separate account for it. At least one, two books I have to buy. It's not that I'm
Mm-hmm.
reading a lot because with my busy schedule, but I read on a like 20 minutes. I put a timer like you. I also have a habit tracker. I put it on my wall so that I know that I'm
Mm-hmm.
doing it. I color it and see green hua ki red hua. So I try and read at least for 20 minutes minimum timer डाल के उतना
Mm-hmm.
तो हो सकता है. Otherwise, there are so many medium these days like podcast, audio books and all. If you want to learn, free में ही इतना मिल रहा है. People are not utilizing it. They don't understand the value of it actually.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Thankfully, I have always been a reader, and my kids also they learned it at a very young age, so they also read. So I'm very happy about it. I just hope that they continue doing it.
Mm-hmm. It's
Uh,
very good habit, honestly.
hmm.
And talking about the point which you mentioned, like we do face a lot of criticism through friends, through family, and honestly, for women, it is like they do get hurt a lot, even if it's a very minute thing. Let's assume I'm screaming at my mom. So for me, it will be very normal thing, but for her, it will be like a very big thing that she'll get hurt a lot and so on. So let's assume, just for that particular sake of example, that how do we deal with that particular criticism, or how do we get out of that negative zone and remain positive into our life?
Yeah. So women are emotional by nature. Like
Yes.
they're more emotional, and they're more no, emotional. Even men are emotional, but they have not been taught how to express this. Women, they express it naturally. Rona is like a natural
Mm-hmm.
thing for women. So that is why we see it, and men, they don't show it. They also get hurt. They are
Mm-hmm.
also sensitive, but they don't know how to express it because at the beginning, when they were young, they were told that "Nahi, boys don't cry." So they were not allowed to express. So I
Mm-hmm.
believe that both men and women are emotionally like emotional, and because women get hurt because they don't know how to handle the emotions. You know, we are never taught emotional quotient and like in school.
Yes.
We are always talking about IQ, intelligent quotient. ये पढ़ो, ये course करो, ये करो. लेकिन how do we handle our emotions? Nobody taught us. Now because I have done so many courses, so when I look back into my past, I said why I was reacting to such silly situations. Nothing. I was
Mm-hmm.
overreacting, and
Mm-hmm.
I will be sulking for a week, 10 days, 15 days over a fight and all. But now it hardly takes couple of hours to like get out of it because now I know the method to get out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So quickly, if you say like anybody comes to me with any kind of problem, first thing I ask them that do you exercise or not? You know
So
why?
exercising is
Because
important.
your physiology can change your psychology. Your
That's true.
physiology will instantly change your psychology. You are feeling sad and you start dancing, you will instantly feel
More joy.
different.
Yeah.
So anybody comes to me कि मेरा husband के साथ problem है, I am not able to sleep or I am having anxiety, depression. I said, do you exercise? Do you exercise or not? And
Mm-hmm.
most of the time the answer is no. I said, first thing is you start exercise and then come to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, first solution for me whenever I am feeling anxious or I will straight away hit my gym. Like in the morning, I'll be feeling low for some reason or not, and the mind will be telling, "Aaj mat jao, relax at home." But I know the moment I will enter there, a drastic shift will happen in my mindset. It's not that the problem will vanish, but I'll have a different, stronger mindset to deal with it. So somebody is telling you something hurtful. The first thing is that you are not taught whether to accept it or not. It is on you to whether take it or not take it. So you are not taught, so you take it. It is very normal. Somebody will tell you, you will take it.
Yes.
And if you are taking it, then go out and play some music and dance, or go out for a drive, or change the environment. First thing, if you can just simply change your environment, you'll get a clearer mindset to like deal with it. And if not, do something physical, something tough, physically tough, and then that gives you a signal that if you can like handle this, I can handle anything.
That's
So
true.
for that, like I had like you said, like somebody is criticizing you. For that, I have an example. Like I learned from my mentor. Like uh, he was telling that, like, suppose you are sitting. Suppose I tell you that, Sahil, your green hair is looking ugly on your face. So what will be your reaction? You will just wonder, I don't have green hair. Why is she
Mm-hmm.
talking bullshit? So you will laugh about it,
Yes.
right? So same way, anybody is telling you something, if you have the same attitude, okay, I don't have it, and that person is telling me this. So why should I accept? I'll just laugh it.
Mm-hmm.
Earlier, I used to be very sensitive about criticism. I used to like react. Why that person told this? Why this person told this? Now I just laugh about it. I said, okay, that's their thought process. I cannot change anything about it. I know myself well enough to know what I am.
Mm-hmm. So, your point of view is that whenever somebody criticizes you, you have a choice, first of all. At the first instance, you have the choice whether you want to accept it or not. And if you have accepted that, and now you're feeling that why that person has told me in that way, and so on. So, you have to work on your physique so that your mindset gets shifted.
Yeah.
And
Shift your environment. Just get out of the place and go to a new place, or do
Mhm.
something physical.
And along with that, you have to make fun of the criticism because you
Yes.
know who you are. And along with that, I feel that at that instance of time, plays a very major role. And even I feel that in life coaching, self-love and self-discipline also plays a major role. So talking about self-love, before jumping into the actual context of what self-love can help, what actually the definition of self-love is all about.
So self-love is simple. The word is self-explanatory. It is about the love you give to yourself. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Which women tend to forget. They are always busy being the sacrificing, the martyr, doing a lot for others, and they think that the more we give, the more love we will receive. But ulta hi hota hai hamesha. Like
Uh-huh.
you ask anybody, they'll say ki, we are doing so much, but the other person is not realizing I'm doing so much for my family. They are not respecting me enough. I was also facing that. Why? Because you are not respecting yourself enough. That is why you're not loving yourself enough. And your energy was attract. Like you want love, you have to be an energy of love. You want success, you have to be in the energy of success. It is all about your energy. Now, for me, if you ask me, I have learned how to love myself obsessively, you can say.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like crazy for myself at this present time. I was not doing that in the past. I was in the victim zone, always thinking the same thing. Like, मैं इतना कर रही हूँ, like, why people are not realizing it, whether it's friends or family. So much I'm doing, and I am an empath by heart, so I'll always be there for my friends, for my family, always over delivering. कोई 10 मांगे तो 100 deliver करो, like
Mm-hmm.
that, forgetting about me. But then I realized that, okay, I am not giving the same kind of love to myself. So I became obsessed about myself. Like I compliment myself at least 100 times in a day, to the point that my family think that I'm crazy. I don't do it in public though. Like I'll
Mm-hmm.
ask you, how am I looking today? Before you will answer me, I say, मैं तो बहुत अच्छी दिख रही हूँ आज." So
Mm-hmm.
that is the kind of love I give myself. And
Mm-hmm.
I tell that I look into like there is a mirror exercise I make my clients do every morning. You have to wake up and look at yourself into the eyes and say that how beautiful is this person. Give as many compliments that you are actually expecting from others to give you. So that mirror exercise, a lot of women find it very scary. Like we are scared to look into our own eyes.
Yes, that's
And when they
actually true.
initially do it, they said that there was an awkward feeling looking into your own eyes. And whenever we look into the mirror, what we see, what is wrong? Like, ये अच्छे
The
बाल
flaws,
अच्छे नहीं लग रहे हैं,
the flaws.
ये अच्छा नहीं दिख रहा है. So first thing we do is like we start finding flaws in us. So the mirror exercise helps you find like what is beautiful in you. So once you start complimenting yourself, initially it will feel awkward, but you'll get used to it. And then like every morning, go to the mirror and say, I love this person. and how beautiful you are, how confident you are. So this is how you're training your mind, your subconscious mind. In the morning, it is best because you are still half asleep. When you're getting up from the bed, you're still in a half subconscious state of mind, and you're training your
Yeah,
mind
alpha state.
every day, every day. And then
Mm-hmm.
there will be a point when your mind will believe it. Like for me now, like I am the most beautiful person in the world. I don't care who is Miss Universe, who is Miss India. And that is
Mm-hmm.
not that I'm showing off for something, because I truly believe it. For me, I am the most beautiful person in the world. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm not expecting anybody to compliment me, because I compliment myself enough in the day. That is how I give myself love. And the exercises I'm doing, the hobbies I'm pursuing, they are all for me. They're not for my family.
Mm-hmm.
And for self love, like the self reflection part is very important. Are you courageous enough to spend time with yourself alone? How much time can you spend with yourself? People are scared to like be alone. They need
Mm-hmm.
company. They go crazy. You just stay alone for a day, then you will start looking for your friend or family or anybody else. So you have to train yourself that you are your best company.
So I
You know?
think this is the very deep concept, honestly.
Yes, I want everybody in my life, but I don't need anybody in my life.
So you want people to surround yourself,
Yes. I
and
want my family, I
you.
want my friends, but I don't need them. I'm not needy. If they're not around also, I can be equally happy. And nowadays I love my solitude. Like I love it when there is absolutely nobody at home. you know,
So.
like I say, okay, that's a bliss. And I love it. But earlier it was different. I used to go crazy when I used to be in an empty house. And I have asked people, like even men, women, they can't stay alone in a house, like with nobody. So when
Mm-hmm.
you start loving yourself enough and you know that you can survive in a house for 24 hours and you don't seek out for anybody, then you that know that you are loving yourself enough. So start
Mm-hmm.
by doing that, at least spending 15-20 minutes all by yourself, doing nothing, in just silence, talking to nobody, doing nothing. My favorite activity of the day is when I do my morning rituals. I do it on the terrace, and for 15 minutes I do nothing. After my rituals are done, I just lie down on a mat and let's look up on to the sky. That is a like ancient ritual called sky gazing. That is the way you connect to the universe, to the cosmic energy.
Mm-hmm.
Do nothing and just gaze at the sky. There's an Egyptian ancient ritual. It's called sun gazing or sky gazing. That is my favorite part. Not talking, not doing anything, just silence and just looking at the sky. And start doing it, and you'll see a different kind of energy getting into your body.
And
Because that
even
is how
I
you
think.
develop self love step by step.
Even I think this is a very deep concept, and even I'll have to go through this point again. And even getting back to the point, as you mentioned about the self-love, mirror exercise, and even like sky gazing to get in touch with the nature. I have learned these concepts, I think, within last 7 to 10 days, that whenever we are doing mirror exercise, even through the podcast also, I think it was based on wellness. In that podcast, I also learned that what we do as a human being, that whenever we look up at the mirror, we look at the flaws.
Hmm.
But at the place of flaws, we should look at the gifts which universe has given us, the beautiful eyes, the face, and every single thing which we have in the form of gift, and every single thing is a blessing for us. Because there are a lot of people, those who have not got an opportunity to see this universe by today's day. And at that instance of time, even this is the second point which I learned about mirror exercise, that a lot of people do the affirmations, they screen the affirmation in front of the mirror so that uh, they can take those affirmations to the subconscious mind. But I learned that rather than doing the affirmations thing, you should actually speak the task. You should actually speak the accomplishments that you have did into your life, so that you can feel the confidence that yes, if I can do those things, I can do this too, and
Hmm.
I can conquer this day. And getting back to the point of nature, as you mentioned, this was about the reflection part and mirror exercise. As you mentioned about the nature thing, I also learned this in last 1 week or 2 weeks, is that whenever we are in nature, like let's assume we are walking on grass, or we are in the space where we are not having any concrete jungle. So
Hmm.
at that instance of time, and even as you mentioned about the sky exercise, I was not aware about this exercise, but I'll definitely try. Is that whenever we are getting in touch with nature, we are actually removing the negativity inside us, and the positivity which the soil is having, the grass, let's assume if if we are walking on the grass barefoot, so that positivity is getting into our blood, and along with that we are also getting fulfilled with new ideas and new positivity, so that we can conquer this day and conquer the overall life which we have. So that was a very great point, and thank you so much for sharing that. And as we uh, discussed about the self love part, I think at this instance of time, discipline also plays a major role, right? So how do
Yes.
we become self-disciplined? Because honestly speaking, discipline itself is a very big thing. And for a lot of people, they think that I want to be disciplined in this thing. I'm starting, let's assume I want to go to gym. I'm doing it for 1 day, 2 days, 1 week, but maybe after 1 month, I'm leaving it. So how do we
Mhm.
remain disciplined for life?
True. So, discipline is the toughest challenge everybody faces because
Mm-hmm.
when they will come for a program, like, like everybody will be super enthusiastic. अब तो weight lose कर लेंगे, अब तो ये कर लेंगे, वो कर लेंगे, and slowly the motivation goes down. So, how to be self-motivated, how to be self-disciplined, that happens over the time only. So, for discipline, we need two parts. That is a focus and that is a willpower part. you know and people make very big goals, like I have to go to the gym, I have to lose 10 kgs. They don't say that I have to go to the gym and exercise. No, they go with targets.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to always start very small. Like
Okay.
there is a wonderful book called Make Your Bed. um, that book everybody should read if they want to. Like I can show you something. This is the book everybody should read if they want to be disciplined. It is
Mm-hmm.
by an army person from US. So this is tiny book, but it is all about discipline. And he says that is the video of him also on YouTube. You can search for him. His name is William McRaven. There's a very beautiful video on YouTube. So he said that the first thing you start is by making your bed. When you get up from the bed, you do it like in the morning. First thing you is make your bed, because when you do this small tiny act, then you're training your mind that yeah, the first task of the day is done, so I'm ready for the next one. Like
Mm-hmm.
I've seen people like leaving their bed for hours and then later they will come and do it. No, first you get up, brush your teeth, and come back and make your bed. And then you are also showing, like training your mind that you have a like organized room. Because the environment matters a lot. If you are living in a messy environment, that is what you will be. If you are like training your mind that I can do this later, what you're teaching your mind is that procrastination. Okay,
Yes.
बाद में करेंगे. And you will apply that to everything. But if you are doing the first thing that I don't want to make my bed, but I'm still doing it, so you're overcoming your resistance and you're like doing it. So small things like how I teach my kids, like any work that will take you less than 5 minutes, you have to finish it then and there. Like whether you have finished a study and you want to keep your book, my son will say, okay, मैं बाद में रख लूंगा. बाद में, how much time it is going to take you to like keep the books? So
Mm-hmm.
do it now. You're coming back from home and you have to put your shoe on the shoe rack. 10 seconds, 15 seconds. So I don't tell them you have to be disciplined in study. I said disciplined in keeping your shoes, disciplined in keeping your pen in the pen stand, disciplined in keeping your glass in the sink. So these are the things I train them. I don't tell them you have to be very disciplined in your study, because if they're disciplined in the small things, they will automatically be disciplined in the bigger things.
Yes.
So you need to start small. So if somebody is telling that I left gym after 10 days, so I don't feel the motivation to go. So don't tell yourself that I have to go and exercise. Like I also do that to myself. Like on days I won't feel like going, and I say, okay, don't exercise. Just go and meet your friends and come back. So I'll tell myself that. But I
Mm-hmm.
know that once I reach there, I will exercise.
Yes.
So just to push myself out of the house, once I sit in the car and enter the gym, I will work out, I know. But that time zone is
That's
very
time.
important, because my body and my mind will be saying, no, no, आज skip कर दो. आज winter है, बहुत ठंड है,
Mm-hmm.
don't go. And I say, okay, I'll just go for a drive and just meet my friends and come back.
Mm-hmm.
So that push you have to give yourself, like lie to yourself with smaller goals. And then if you don't feel like exercising, at least go and visit gym every day and sit there and see other people exercising every day. So one day you will also get the realization, and then you will feel like working out. Like last year, I just started posting my exercise videos on my Instagram stories every single day. I'll go to the gym, I'll post it, and I will put a sticker like, "Did you exercise today?"
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yes or no. And I was doing it for my accountability because by my own accountability, so I wanted to see how many exercises I did in the month so I can count. You
Mm-hmm.
won't believe it. Like a lot of people started posting no. Then a lot of people started exercising just because of that. And they said, we felt ashamed that you are going every day and we are not going. And they
Mm-hmm.
started messaging me. And one day I had not gone to my gym and somebody DM'd me that, did you not exercise today? So I said, "Okay, today was my rest day." So
Mm-hmm.
you never know like how many people are getting motivated. I said, wow, like at least even पांच लोग भी चले गए ना, like
That's
I
more than enough.
impacted them. So I keep
Mm-hmm.
my accountability for that. So when I started posting my videos, it's not for anybody else, it's only for me. Now I can see on my feed that, okay, I have exercised so many times. And that gives me a proud moment and that motivates me to go. Start small for discipline because willpower is built over the smaller things. Small things. Like जूता उठा के रखना भी एक बड़ी बात है. That also people don't do.
That's
So
true.
when you accomplish the smaller steps, you will automatically go for the bigger ones. People aim for the bigger ones, that is why they fail.
Mm-hmm. And even this is one of the quotation from our mentors itself. Like the way we do anything is the way we do everything.
Everything, yes.
And
So once you train yourself to do the smaller things, and there is
mm-hmm.
a very beautiful quote by Jim Rohn also. You have two choices, either the pain of discipline or the pain of regret.
Regret.
So अभी नहीं तो बाद में regret करोगे. Like people are living their life on credit card, I say. Like अभी एक्सरसाइज नहीं करेंगे, बाद में करेंगे, अभी खा लेते हैं, बाद में कर लेंगे. So credit card limit, one day it will be like over, and then what? So it's okay. Some learn it the hard way, and like exercising every day is not easy. This is also hard. This is also hard.
Yes,
You
that's
know,
true.
there is a right way and there is an easy way. And right way is always hard. Easy way is easy. So you have to choose it.
That's a great
अभी नहीं तो
answer.
कभी करना है.
That's a great answer. And even I feel like, as you mentioned about the accountability part, I think even for me as well, I kept posting for 90 days. Even I took 90 days Reels challenge on my Instagram. Even a lot of people texted me. I missed one day in between, and a lot of people texted me what happened and so on. Because at that day I was traveling and I was having a lot of guests at my home. So I was not even able to edit that video and I was not even able to schedule. So that was the reason. And in
Hmm.
between also I took a gap for 3 to 4 days because I was very sick and I was not even able to record. So definitely, when it comes to accountability also, even if we are doing the process, I feel that if we make people accountable for us, fortunately, they will also start getting accountable into their own life. Like let's assume if I'm taking 90 days read challenge, they will feel
Hmm.
like let me take at least 50 days of book reading challenge or maybe something else like that. So I think
Hmm.
accountability plays a very major role in building the discipline part. And as you mentioned about achieving the outcome and the journey part, like a lot of people feel कि मुझे 10 kgs lose करना है, and
Hmm.
on the other side there are a lot of people जो कि gym करने की process को enjoy करते हैं. And even I
Yes.
feel that uh, ऑल्दो हमारा जो डेस्टिनेशन है वो हमारे दिमाग में होना चाहिए, दैट वी शुड understand that yes, this is my goal, this is the ultimate goal which I want to reach and I want to sustain there. But I feel that the journey is very important because journey is what builds the character so that we can achieve it. So getting back to the point of achieving the results, uh, are there any practices or any you can consider activities or practices which you can consider with which you can follow on a day-to-day basis so that we can achieve the result flawlessly?
Well, achieving the result flawlessly is not
Like,
possible. It is a lot of hard work.
mm-hmm.
But I will say, like, in the self-development journey, if you ask me, like, the top three activities that I will do without failure every day to build my mindset. Because, your mindset is everything. 80% is the mindset, 20% is the actual action you take. Whether you're going to the gym or doing your job or anything in relationship, it's all about your mindset. So first and foremost, I always say is that exercise, because your physiology is everything. Like a healthy mind breeds a healthy body and vice versa. So if
Yes.
your body is healthy, your mind will be healthy. If your mind is healthy, your body will be healthy. So first, thing that you should never skip is your exercise part. I'm not telling that go to the gym, but do something which is beyond your comfort level. People will say, I went for walking, or reels देख के walking कर लेंगे, and they say कि हम लोग का walking हो गया. या फिर friends, like group of friends will be chatting and walking. So what kind of exercise is that? You are still like not giving time to yourself. You have to go beyond your comfort zone. If walking is easy for you, then try running. If 5 kilometers is easy for, do 6 kilometers. Don't just like for the sake of it go and say stroll and come back and say that I did walking or anything. So any kind of exercise you need to first train your body. And when you like actually when gym is the best because that is called resistance training. Gym is also because you're always pushing yourself, like you're physically torturing yourself. So I always say that if I can lift this heavy, I can do anything. Like I'm always resisting something. So that is the mindset I'm building in the gym, that I am like strong, I'm resilient because I can do this. If I can do this, I can do anything I want.
Yeah.
So that is the number one thing I always say. Second thing is the gratitude practice, whether you write it down or you say it or anything, because people are more focused on what they don't have, they forget what they have.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So and when you are like focusing on lack, what you will attract is lack. When you're
Yeah.
focusing on what you have, obviously you will attract more. So gratitude open the door to abundance. I always say that. So that is second thing that I definitely do. That is my gratitude writing. I write it when I don't have time, I'm traveling or something. I just say it. But throughout the day also I'm doing it. It's not that morning ritual mein kar liya and then you forget it. No. Any small thing happens, like a friend calls me, I'll always thank. A small thing somebody does for me, I will always thank. So thank you, thank you, thank you is like my mantra. And I've
Mm-hmm.
seen that the more you give gratitude, the more you get
Yeah.
from the universe, from your family, from your friends. Like I had started doing with my husband also, and I remember initially it was feeling awkward. Like, why are you thanking me for all these things? These are normal things for me. I said, no, I feel grateful that you're doing it for me. And one day I forgot to thank him and he said, you are not written thank you. So now that has become a practice. And my kids do it and all of that. And the third thing I always say is that do a random act of kindness every single day. Like, for example, I always feed the dogs on the street. Whenever, like in my car, there is always packets of biscuits. Like I always carry, it's always there. Because wherever I see a dog, I love dogs. So wherever I will see a dog, I will give them. So that is my random act of kindness that I can do. Other examples I can give you, suppose you're ordering something from Zomato, order a juice or something extra and just hand it over to the delivery guy. You'll see the smile on the face of that guy. On in
Mm-hmm.
summer specifically, whenever I order something, I always give them a juice back because they come in the hot sun and they deliver and they will be like shocked.
Yeah.
And the smile you'll see on the face, the blessings they will give you when
That's
they're coming
that's the
in.
next level thing.
Yes. So do some small act of kindness for anybody. You can help somebody in your society, like pick up the bags or drop a friend, pick a friend. Small, small things. I'm not in the spend money. So if you're doing random act of kindness, that is going to come back tenfold to you. Just trust me on this. I practice it and I always tell everybody to practice it. Don't wait for like Diwali and Dashera to gift people. Just give
Do it
gifts like,
randomly.
yeah, do it randomly when they're not expecting. That is the best time to give, when they're not expecting. Even
Yeah.
a friend or family, just give them something. Just don't wait for special occasions to gift anybody. And you will see the actual happiness. So
Yeah.
do some random act of kindness every these three things. If you practice, like you're sorted.
So first is working on your health. It could be gymming, it could be running,
Anything.
exercise, or anything. Second is gratitude, and even at the point of gratitude, as you mentioned, even this is one of the quotation which I got from my mentors is that the more things you are grateful for, the more things you will get to be grateful for. So that is
Yes.
also the second, which is also very important. And the third is the act of kindness,
Random act of kindness.
random one. It could be for anything. It could be for animals. It could be
Could
for
be for birds.
for yeah. That's
Yeah.
that's really
And
amazing. And now this was like the a part of the professional life. Now getting back to your personal life, the first question which I do ask is about the money, health, or relationship. What comes first? But as you have already mentioned that for you, first comes health, then comes relationship, and then comes the money part. And The second question would be, what is the actual definition of money according to you?
Money for me is only energy and
Mhm.
emotion. So we don't buy things with money, we buy emotions with money. Okay, so
That's
anything
deep.
like any smaller thing, if you buy a chocolate also, so that chocolate is going to make me happy. That is why I'm buying it, right? If I buy a car, that car is maybe make it will give me the sense of fulfillment or like an achievement. So we buy emotions. So for money for me is emotions, and money for me is energy, and money is like water for me. Like you must have heard that like money has no energy of its own. It takes the energy of the person
Yes.
it is with.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like we have been taught कि पैसे के बारे में बात नहीं करना है. Don't think much about money and all of that. We were taught in childhood. Now things have changed after doing coaching. I understand that money is also important, and it takes the energy of a person. I have seen when money is in the wrong hand, what they do with it. I've seen, and money is in the right hand, what they do with it. So money is like water. You are the container. Okay, so you pour money into it. So
Mm-hmm.
suppose that is a clear glass and you pour money into it, it will be a like clear glass of water. But suppose there is dirt inside the water and you pour water into it, so it will be a dirty glass of water.
That's true.
Whatever is inside of you, that will be coming. And if you have like I have money, so I can be more empowered to take better care of my family and take better care of my friends and do more charity, do more learning. I would love to travel more. So all of that. But if you give it to the wrong person, then you know
Again,
what
it will
happens.
go into the wrong flow, into that wrong infinity loop.
So like I've seen money like they get into addiction, they spend on partying, they won't help anybody. So it depends on the person to person. So money for me is just energy and emotion.
That's great. And it was for the very first time that during this particular podcast experience, I am listening for the very first time that money is also an emotion. I've heard that money is a blessing, money is experience and a lot of things, but this was for the very first time, and it is really amazing to know that thing that money is an emotion. And even as you mentioned that money is not wrong, but the person with whom that money is associated. It could be good or it could be bad. And even this is one of the analogy which I've also shared in one of my programs as well. And getting back to the last few questions is that are there any books or any podcast recommendation which you would like to give to the audience who is watching this podcast?
Yeah, books are plenty. I read a lot, so
Mm-hmm.
and I'll say like this one, this book is definitely for people who want to like make your bed. Is definitely for people who want to start with discipline in a smaller way.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm into like women empowerment. So Mel Robbins is one of my favorite, and Oprah Winfrey is one of my favorite. So
Mm-hmm.
I listen to their podcasts and I read their books. So all the books by Mel Robbins is very nice.
So any few suggestions for those?
Yeah, like the 5 second rule is there, and the high five habit is there. Like they say that high five is a like scientific thing. That is also one of the activities I make my clients do. Do as many high fives you can in the day, because that is scientifically proven that when you do high five, you like tell your brain that you're happy, because you cannot do a high five and feel sad. It's not
That's
scientifically
true.
possible. So
Mm-hmm.
that all the details and the case studies are given there. Like she had done a research and all. So that is one of my favorite book, and I tell everybody to जितना भी high five कर सकते हो करो. You're feeling sad, go and start giving hugs and high fives to everybody. Will instantly feel the difference.
Yeah.
Do high five with your help in the house or the guard, the security guard or anybody randomly. Start doing high five.
Mm-hmm.
So that is one book, and becoming supernatural is also one of my favorite books. I am a big manifester. I I have manifested everything in my life, and I definitely recommend that book to
That's
begin with.
great. That's great. So these are a couple of books and the podcast from Mel Robbins and Oprah Winfrey, right?
Yeah.
So that's great. And getting back to the very last question of this podcast, any last advice for the young women's out there, because you're specifically focusing on women. So any specific advice for women, or even if you wish to go for men also, you can give them. And along with that, the women, those who are newly married, because as you mentioned, like after getting married, women feel that we don't have life, and they forget about their own personal life, they forget about their own personal identity. So what
Hmm.
would be your advice for women, specifically those who are in their young age, like girls, we can specifically
Hmm.
mention, and the women, those who are in the married phase?
So for young girls, I would say that don't get swayed away by what you are seeing in the outside world, and you have to create your own identity. Like, and you don't have to follow the societal norms, the patriarchal rules anymore. But that doesn't mean that whatever you are seeing and um, on the internet, those are all true. So those don't try to create a false identity of yours. Don't try to portray which you are not. You have to be authentic. You have to be in your energy, and you have to learn how to be strong. And for married women, I will say that yes, definitely, life will be way different than it was before marriage in your parents' house, because now you are responsible for this. There, you were dependent on your parents for a life, and now you are suddenly the main person, because the woman is the backbone of the family.
Yes.
And suddenly, like the shift of responsibility, like overwhelms. Because when I had gotten married, I had remembered that like I was a daughter there, and suddenly everything was on me, and
Mm-hmm.
I had to take care of so many people. So don't get overwhelmed with it. And whether you want to pursue a career or not, whether you want to be a homemaker or not, you have to realize your self-worth. Like you have to learn how to say no, because women tend to like over deliver. So how to draw your boundaries where and not do things that are costing you a mental peace. I know like people will be disappointed, but that is fine, because in the long run, that is, if you don't learn how to say no, if you don't learn how to draw your boundaries, you are going to end up in a different zone where you won't be in a position to take care of others.
That's
So you have to empower yourself, whether you choose to be a house wife or whether you choose to be a career woman. It is fine, but you learn how to draw your boundaries. You learn how to balance your life. Don't forget about yourself. You should be your number one priority if you actually love your family. Otherwise, I say everybody who say that I don't have time because I am giving all my time to my family, I say you don't love your family. That's a lie. If you
that's
can't love yourself, how can you love your family? To start with you, the more empowered you are, the better you can take care of your family. I am an example of it. I was not doing it, so though I was not having a job, but I was more overwhelmed. But now look at me, like I go to the gym every day, I pursue my hobbies, I'm handling my coaching career, I still take care of my kids and family. How I'm doing everything together?
yes.
Only because I started taking care of myself. But 16 years I did not do it. So even without a job, I was more stressed, I was more overwhelmed. So you have to start taking care of yourself. You have to empower yourself, and you will be having a lot of flaws. Like my company's name is Be Flawsome School. I say that you don't have to be awesome. You have to be flawsome. Every single person is born with flaws. So you have to learn how to embrace your flaws and then be awesome. So that is called flawsome.
Awesome. That's a
Yes.
great one.
So be flawsome.
That's great. And anything last which you would like to add to the audience?
Well, I would say that it was a great podcast interview by you. I think I was able to add value to your podcast. And anytime anybody needs any help, man or woman, it is not that I'm only working with women. They can
Mm-hmm.
definitely reach out to me. They can connect with me on my social channels. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm there to help. I'm here on a mission to empower women and men also, because I have two boys. I have to empower men also to make the society. It is about maintaining the balance. It is not that only women have to take care of it. So because I have two boys, so I'm raising them to be more kinder, more empathetic towards women, and to have a balanced society. So that is my mission, and let's see
Yeah, that's great. And with that, thank you so much, ma'am, for being on our podcast show. It was really an honor for me. And thank you so much for giving your time, efforts, and honestly, your experience which you shared into this particular podcast. And it was really, or you can consider it was also like a roller coaster ride for me to understand that journey and to understand the flaws of everybody's life, and then getting back to the life which we actually want to aspire. And once again, it's again an honor for me. I can't express that gratitude. And looking forward to see you in upcoming new initiatives. And for the audience, we are definitely going to add the social handles below this particular podcast so that they can reach out to you, and definitely whatever breakthroughs they have got, they can definitely tag you on the Instagram stories, and uh, send you the message also on Instagram, so that they can also embrace, they can also feel the sense of gratitude which you shared. And once again, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for inviting me here. I
Thank
wish
you.
you all the best for your future, and I know you'll do a wonderful job.
Thank you. Once again, thank you so much for watching this particular podcast till the end. And I hope that now you are absolutely clear about what are the different aspects of life, how we can be contented, and along with that, how we can focus on well-being of our own life rather than just focusing on money part or relationship or even health part. And you are now inspired by Sushri ma'am's own journey and also the examples which she shared into this particular podcast. And if yes, then please do make sure that below this particular video in the description box, I've shared all the social handles. Please do make sure that you are taking snapshot from this particular podcast and tagging her on her Instagram story, and along with that, you are texting her on Instagram so that she can feel that whatever time she invested into this particular podcast, not just that, but her own energy, her enthusiasm, and lifelong learning process. Definitely, I can see with her own energy, the experience which she had, and along with that, the overall journey which she faced from 16 years of being a mother, complete homemaker, and now being a life coach, and many more things which she shared into this particular podcast. So please do make sure that you are tagging her on Instagram. You can tag me, and definitely I'll also reshare your stories, and you can text her with all your breakthrough moments, all your takeaways. And along with that, you can follow her on Instagram. You can check out her website and every other programs as well. And looking forward to see you in upcoming new podcasts. And before that, before you jump into other episodes or other videos as well, please do make sure that you are sharing this particular podcast with at least one friend of yours whom you feel that this particular podcast can help them out. And please do make sure that if you like this particular podcast, if you like the work which I'm doing, the guests which I'm bringing on into this particular podcast, then please do make sure that you're putting the thumbs up in the chat box, and you're putting the like button, and you're subscribing to our YouTube channel for upcoming new uploads and upcoming new updates. And looking forward to see you in upcoming new initiatives. Till then, live fully, love openly, and make the difference today. I wish you joy and abundance in all you do.